Loverboy headband on?
You're goddamn right I do.
Welcome to Great News. It is Kevin Ryder and Mike Catherwood, and we bring you great stories that actually restore your faith in humanity. And if you like it, please subscribe to it. The best way to watch it is on YouTube because there's a lot of videos that you can see all the detail on. But you can also get it anywhere where audio podcasts are found.
Yes, Mike, and do us a favor and help us work the algorithms. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff so that it helps us because we need to beat the machines.
Correct. All right, Mike always does the intro. I would like to hear Eddie Vedder, please.
It's an intro. It's an intro. I would like to stop this song real quick and talk about the Sandinistas in South America and how much they're suffering. I know this is a show about great news, but there's so much suffering in the world, and I don't really want anybody to be happy at all. Intro.
May have picked the wrong
Chicago Cubs.
The wrong guy. I can't get over the headband. I got to be honest. It's throwing me off. There is a video of a Lyft driver who stands up to passengers who get into the car. And the first thing they do is ask if he's white and if he speaks English. And he's like,
assholes.
Yes, that seems like an asshole thing to do. So watch this and watch what this Lyft driver does.
Pennsylvania rideshare driver James Bodie posting on Facebook an encounter he had with potential customers this weekend. The video has since gone viral. Watch.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, you're like a white guy.
What's that?
Are you like a white guy?
Excuse me?
Are you like a normal guy? Like you speak English? Sorry.
No, you can get out of the car. I'm gonna cancel a ride. That's inappropriate.
What?
It's completely inappropriate. If somebody was not white sitting in the seat, what would be the difference?
Are you serious?
She said, wow, you're a white guy. Oh, that's okay. I'm not gonna take the ride. You guys can get out.
Really?
Yeah, completely inappropriate.
Oh, you're
It's all on camera, man. It's all on camera.
punch you in the face.
You're gonna threaten me?
Yeah,
Assault.
yeah.
Wow.
Because you guys are racist.
You're
Yeah. No, I'm calling the cops on you, man.
Go ahead.
It's all on camera. It's all on camera.
I thought he was going to get out and regulate for a second. Looked like he was going to open the door.
I thought he was because I bet you the guy was like probably threatening to harm the car or something.
Yeah, could be.
You know, but you know what? That's another good example of how alcohol can expose who someone really is. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly that chick was hammered. You know, they just got done with some dinner at some nice place, and she had 18 bottles of wine.
And
that's
just, if the guy wasn't white, that would have been a horrible thing to say.
It's just a horrible thing to say to you and I. It's a horrible thing to say. I mean, just like, and listen, you and I spent most of our life in like probably one of the more diverse areas in the world.
Yes.
Are you that shocked when an Uber driver or a Lyft driver is, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like a cab driver in New York City, I could understand. But even then I wouldn't be like, wow, sir, you're a white man. I'd be like,
you don't say anything.
Internally, I'd be like, oh my God, well, I don't see a lot of, you know, Anglo-Saxon cab drivers in New York City. But I wouldn't be like, this is revolutionary.
Internally, there's no way you're using the word Anglo-Saxon. It's just not happening.
Well, you know, like, I don't think even taking notice of stuff like that is inherently racist. It's the fact that she was like thought it would be hysterical. Like, let me say that out loud. I remember when I was a little kid. It's like I grew up in the east side of Los Angeles. So I had when you're a little kid, I was probably like 6 or 7. You have your world, the view of the world as it is, as you know it. Right. And I went to visit my grandparents, my dad's parents in rural Oregon. And it was the first time I had gone to visit them. And we go to a drive-through and the voice on the other end is like, hey, welcome to Whataburger. What can I get for you? And I was in the backseat like, I don't, because all I know of drive-thrus, especially to that point, is welcome to Jack in the Box. Can I take your order, please? Right. Like I didn't know I didn't know that happened. So, but I would never be like,
did you say, are you white?
Even as a kid, I would never think like, well, that's an appropriate thing to say. That's going to make people of the world feel better about life. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Yes, agreed.
All right. My next story is a good one, and I'm going to remind myself what it is. Oh, yes. So these sisters were essentially raised in Nigeria. They're non-Nigerian by ethnicity, but they were raised in Nigeria, and their parents had some type of gig where they needed like a full-time nanny to raise their children.
Right.
And they surprised this lady. And again, you know, it doesn't take some act of heroism. It doesn't take these like grandiose stories. Sometimes just seeing this display of love between two people, especially two people that aren't, or three people to hear that aren't related, is just such a reminder that inherently like there's love and good inside of us. Check this out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That does bring up one thing that has been bugging me lately, and that is the parent by blood, the person who is the parent by blood.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that matters, and I think sometimes it doesn't. Like in this particular case, that's those kids' mom for those years.
Absolutely. And it's just like when people get overly, you know, semantic about stuff and they're like, well, that's not your biological father. It's like, right. Yeah, but that's my dad. Right. You know, like I was lucky enough to have my biological parents like really be the main caretakers for me. But we all know those people where that's not the case, you know?
Yes.
And it does bug me. But at the same time, I also think like, well, it's going to happen either way where parents aren't going to live up to their end of the bargain. Yeah. So I'm just happy that there are people out there who are going to take on that kind of role.
All right, you're going to love this next one, Mike. In baseball, when you walk up to the plate, you get to pick your song. You get to pick your walk-up song.
Hell yeah.
And this is a little kid. And he's not just walking up to the plate. And by the way, it's T-ball. So they put a ball on a tee and then they hit it. They don't even pitch it. And watch this kid.
Oh my God.
Just jumping around behind the plate. How great is that kid? Then they put the ball on the tee, and what you don't see there is he grabs the bat and just kills the ball.
I love sports.
Right.
Okay. I love little kids that are passionate about it. I don't think it's all just jock BS. I think there's a lot of value in like learning about life through athletics and competition. And I will tell you right now, I would be more proud of my child doing that than any athletic feat.
And your kid would do that. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
But how great was it watching that kid dance?
That was awesome. That was like really, that really is great news because I am happy now.
What song would you pick if you had to pick a walk-up song? Because I have one while you think.
I would say either
Or
Now
you
You're a
just
Man from Team America
Right.
or Wing, our friend Wing,
Oh,
her version of Hell's Bells by AC/DC.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I would go with Play That Funky Music, White Boy. I think
That's a solid choice.
that would be mine.
That's a solid choice.
Let's watch the kid again. Dance
Please,
to Big
please.
Pun because this kid rules.
So hard.
Thrusting his hips, sets the mat down.
Even the coach can't get mad. He's like, yeah, go for it.
And then they put the ball on the tee and he grabs the bat. And
He would do that forever too.
Mike, you would
Like,
be so mad if he picked up the bat at this point. You would be going, son, we talked about this.
no.
You gotta do the whole song.
we've talked about commitment, son.
I love that kid.
I mean, as you would expect, Kevin, I screw around with all of my daughter's classmates. Like
Of
when I
course.
go to pick her up from school, it's immediately all I'm thinking about is like how I could bust the other kids' balls. And
How old is your daughter?
she's 8.
8.
And there's this one kid who clearly is like the class clown, and he's so funny. And I go to pick her up the other day, and I'm always like when I see him, I'm like, I got my eyes on you, and he'll come up and punch me like when I'm not looking, and the whole thing. Like and I go, hey, what's up? And he goes, 7-8-year-old kid. He goes, what's up? These nuts. And I almost had an aneurysm. I laughed so hard. I almost like you feel like you did an ab workout.
That is fantastic.
And he didn't even act like a little kid normally would. Like I said a funny. He like stared at me. He's like, yeah. It's. I didn't want to tell his mom either. I was like,
I love that kid. He's going to be in jail in 5 years, but I love him.
Yeah. Or a radio host.
Right, true.
Kevin, I might have discovered the smartest horse ever. This was so uplifting.
I didn't know that was a search.
To see nature play out like this, it almost brought a tear to my eye. Watch this.
Take them titties out, cause I'm trying to see them. AM to the PM, double did them, and I need them.
Give me them. Give me them
Take them titties out, cause I'm trying to see them.
Look, he is not
to the PM,
concerned
double
about
did them,
anything
and
else.
I need them.
I mean, he really isn't.
He's like, break me off. And that is a rather fetching young lady. Like,
Right.
he knows what's up. You honestly, okay, now I'm going to break
Take
series for
them
a second.
titties out, cause I'm trying to see them. AM to the PM, double did them, and I need them.
Do you think that's like, honestly, like instinctive thing? Like they know that's where you get milk and stuff. And he's like, those look juicy and ripe.
I don't think so.
Because I mean, it's not a sexual thing, right? I mean,
No. What you're describing is not a sexual thing, but if we could watch it again, I think it's going after her right hand, which happens to be near the goods.
let's see again. Let's
All right, let's watch it again.
analyze.
Take them titties out, cause I'm trying to see them. AM to the PM, double did them.
No, before she puts her hand there,
All right.
He was going titty strong.
Okay. There are other videos online of animals that know what's up.
Well, we've talked about my fucking kittens that are insane. They both, if I come in shirtless and try to cuddle them, or feed them or something, they go for my nipples.
Because you have hot nipples.
Yes, of course. I mean, I have a near perfect Adonis-like physique, but on top of that, I mean, there has to be something about the instinctive nurturing kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just full of shit
too. I don't know, but that was fascinating to watch, and we should probably watch it 10 more times in slow motion just so we can figure it out for sure.
I'm always looking
we're thorough.
Ridiculous excuses to bring in videos of hot chicks.
The next video has been around for a little bit, so maybe you've seen it, but it is shocking, and it makes me embarrassed to be a white person.
Oh.
Because it's a Karen-ish woman, and they're in Central Park, and there is a man named Christian Cooper, who is a black man who graduated from Harvard, and he's bird watching. And a woman with a dog sees him and starts yelling at him and then calls the police on him.
Are you? Oh my God.
I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Christian, a 57-year-old Harvard-educated science editor, was birdwatching in a wooded area of New York Central Park called The Ramble. We encountered a woman whose dog was loose. What made you pull out the phone and start recording it?
Well, that's a little bit of the irony. It had nothing to do with race. It was just a conflict between a dog walker and a birder. Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking pictures, calling the cops.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
She basically pulled the pin on the race grenade and tried to lob it at me.
There is an African-American man. I'm in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
She was going to tap into a deep, deep, dark vein of racism, of racial bias that runs through this country and has for centuries.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions. First off, Kevin, fascinating and I think important footage. But how is that great news?
Well, I'm not finished.
Oh.
So after that story, National Geographic sees it and they go, hey, this guy is a bird watcher. And they gave him his own bird watching show called Extraordinary Birder. That's the name of it, Extraordinary Birder. The guy has.
Are you serious?
A TV show about bird watching now.
Well, I mean, he was noticeably handsome, and he clearly had a very noticeable charisma. That's awesome. I bet you he's probably good at it. That is really great news. Okay, I apologize, Kevin. Because I thought the story was just there's a racist bitch.
A little quicker.
No. I just thought here's the great news story. There's a really hurtful, terrible person exposing what goes on probably a lot more than we know.
In my defense, that's how I presented it. Okay. I didn't tell it well. So that's on me.
That is both really disheartening, but also really amazing at the same time.
Yes, agreed.
And my question is if you're that cuckoo in the head about people of that have a different lifestyle than you or that look different than you, right. Do you move to fucking Manhattan?
Yeah, New York is not the place.
Go somewhere where you can. That doesn't happen because people do not deserve to be have the cops called just for being in the park.
And by the way, lying, saying that he's threatening her life.
That's just fucking insanity, man.
Which everybody whose lives are threatened should be pissed at her because she's making that up and it's going to make them take it less seriously when there is somebody whose life is being threatened. Especially in New York City or a place like that where the cops have a lot of shit to deal with. Yes. They don't need this Karen to
muddy the waters.
No, they do not.
Oh, wow. But man, good for that guy. That I mean, out of tragedy comes something
right.
beautiful.
And how calm was he? And how well did he handle himself?
Well, that guy's got Kevin. You take both our IQs and put them together, and he's still like 40 points higher.
Yeah, there's no question.
He's a Harvard-educated avian specialist. Like, if you get out of your mind.
We're close to that.
We're on the cusp. And that's another thing that bothers me. She's gonna be thrown. I guarantee that twat dropped out of junior college like 3 semesters in, and this guy walking around like really adding to America has to deal with that kind of flack.
I mean, maybe that's why she's so dumb. Maybe.
I wouldn't.
Maybe
I
that's
wouldn't.
Why she's so...
I wouldn't be surprised. All right, Kevin.
Yes.
Flying can test people. Oftentimes you see extreme behavior because airports and traveling, it can get on you. Then you're cramped in that fuselage. It can be tough. So when you see something so beautiful on a small flight and people collectively acting in this way, it does, just like kind of the basis of this whole show, it reminds you that actually
By the way,
are good.
Let me just say this too. The number of incidences on airplanes has skyrocketed. I mean, it's gotten crazy in the last 2 to 3 years, like 400 or 500 times percent as many incidents.
Yeah. And there's no excuse for it. But at the same time, I do think that there's some kind of scientific basis for that. And here's why I say that. How many movies I've watched on a plane where as I'm watching it in the air, something about cabin pressure and that stuff and the elevation, maybe I'm like, this is the best romantic comedy. And I'm crying, literally crying from like how touching this movie is. Or I'll watch some comedy and I'm like, how is this movie rated 1.5? This is hysterical. And then 6 months later, I'm on the ground and I come across it on some stream. I'm like, this movie's shit.
You think people get more emotional because they're flying?
I think I have no objective evidence to back this up.
Really?
But I do think that because that's happened to me so many times where in many directions, my emotions are just so extremely heightened by things in the air.
I can see that.
Yeah. Kevin, I'm going to finish up with a beautiful story, and it is about flying. Watch how the whole crew, the captains, and then every single passenger on this plane come together to do something special for a man who's celebrating his birthday. He turned 95.
Mr. Jack Platt. Where are you?
Right here.
Dad.
Raise your hand, Dad.
Very back of the aircraft. Mr. Jack Platt is 95 years aircraft today, and Jack, we're all going to sing happy birthday to you. We're going to show you some Southwest love. At the end of us singing happy birthday, everybody's going to blow out your candles for you. Okay?
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack. Happy birthday to you.
And see, everybody blows out and the cabin lights go out and there's candles.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I thought that was really sweet, man.
You're right. That is the opposite of the type of story that we see from airplanes most of the time. So
it's mostly Mike Tyson breaking people's jaw.
Right, exactly. All right. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and let your friends know and click on the little bell thing so that you get notified when we put up a new episode, which is Mondays and Thursdays. Mike is now going to do the outro as from Oasis, Liam Gallagher.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
But don't use the C word.
I can't really be Liam.
You can.
Well, Noel's more of the C-bomb
okay, good
one. Yeah, so, okay, here we go. you're gonna make me fucking sing it. What, you got a sore throat? Yeah, fuck, my fucking brother is a fucking twat here, so I'm gonna fucking sing this song here. You're just gonna sit up there, drink champagne, you fucking twat. It's an outro. It's outro. Say hello to the happy, goodbye to the blues. Because Kevin and Mike are here to give you great news. You see that? That's how a fucking professional does it, you fuck.